Hey guys, Nick from Practically Tactical here. So today I'm going to show you an overview and an installation of the Elftmann tactical trigger. Now they offer three different triggers here, but the one I'm going to be showing you is their match grade trigger. So you can see right here it is a drop-in kit, and these guys are doing something that's definitely different on the market, which I really like to find companies like this and share with you guys. So let's take a look here at the trigger, and then we'll do the installation. Alright guys, so let's take a look here at the Elftmann tactical trigger here. Now, did you notice anything different about this trigger than the one that was just in the video a couple seconds ago? I hope you caught it, because there are some big differences here. This trigger is something that's really awesome about this trigger is a lot of the parts in this trigger are modular. The spring, the hammer, and the trigger are all modular. And here's another really cool thing. They're on ball bearings. Check that out. So I have been running this trigger right here, the match grade trigger, with the flat trigger, with the skeletonized hammer, with the match grade spring. So here's one of the really cool things here is, yes, you can have the type of trigger that you want right there, the type of hammer that you would like, and you can change out the spring. This is their 3-gun spring, which I haven't put into the trigger yet, is by running their match grade. So it's modular, it's on ball bearings, and if you see right here, that's right, it is adjustable. The match grade trigger is adjustable from 2.75 pounds to 4 pounds. Modular, ball bearings, and it's just a cool looking trigger. How cool is that? But now that you've kind of seen it, some really cool things about this trigger. I'll show you how to switch your parts out here if you want to customize your trigger, and then we'll get to the installation. Alright, let me show you how to customize this modular trigger. So what we want to do here is we want to release the hammer. Do this 2 hands here. So now that we have released, get that out of the way. Now that we have released it here, very simple is you just push these out right here. Alright, now this just comes out. Now I'll go back to the flat trigger that I had there. And just line it up here. And now we'll switch back to my skeletonized hammer. There we go. Our trigger has now been customized to the way we want it. We can adjust the poundage, but we will do that later. So now, let's go ahead and get my lower here, and let's get this trigger installed. Alright guys, so we're going to do the installation here. It's really easy. But here's one quick tip here that I would like to point out here. So on the bottom here, there's these set screws. When you receive your trigger, what you want to do is you want to check them to make sure they're just about even. Because what you're going to do is when you tighten these, you want to make sure you're tightening them both pretty much even, so you want to have this trigger set flat on your installation. So just check that right there, that those set screws right there are just about even before the installation. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to drop our trigger in. We're going to put all the way in. Then we're going to put our safety selector back in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our pins and we will get those in. All right, guys. Now that we got it in here, you can go ahead and you could do your detent spring and get your grip and everything. I would recommend though, let's get the trigger installed first, and then we'll put everything back on here. So what we want to do here for our pins that we put in here, we want to make sure that they're in even. So what we're going to do here is on the side here of the trigger, when those set screws that I showed you, what we're going to want to do is we're going to tighten them down. And we want to do one side like quarter, half a turn, and then do the same on the other side. We want this trigger to be in, but evenly, so that there's no issues. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to be pressing down the hammer just a little bit here to give me a little more room. And then I am using a 5/32 Allen key to tighten this up. Okay, you'll feel it slide in a spot there. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to give this a quarter of a twist. Now I'm going to go back to the other side. And do a quarter of a twist. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing this until this trigger is seated in correctly and these pins don't move on us. Okay, now that we got the trigger installed here, we just wanted to make sure that we got everything in there. These pins aren't moving here. And then what we'll do is now we'll finish up the installation of getting our detent and then the spring and our grip put back on, and then we'll do a function test on the trigger. Alright guys, so we got everything put back together, so let's do a functions test on our trigger here. So we have it currently on safe. We will just go back and forth here, make sure that it's functioning. It is. We have it on safe. Let's go ahead and put our thumb over the hammer in case that it does go off. We don't want to hit our lower. So it's on safe, we pull the trigger. Nothing. Let's move it to fire. And let's pull the trigger. Yes. Hammer came forward. It is reset. Go again. Alright. Put it back on safe. And it is functioning. Excellent. So I'll give you guys a look here at just how small the travel and reset is on this trigger, and absolutely no over travel. So here's what we have it here. I'm holding the hammer with my fingers here. We will pull the trigger. Oops. Let's put it on fire and pull the trigger. There, that broke. Here's the reset. Yes, let me show you that again. There's the break. And there's the reset. Now let's break it. No over travel. Just none. There's the reset. Absolutely fantastic trigger. I've been fortunate enough to shoot this in a couple of my local competitions, just plus taking out to the range. It's ran fantastic. Now here is the one disclaimer I will give you, is when you do those installation of your set screws here, don't try to cut any corners or think it's in. Test it. Make sure that your pins are in, your pins are not moving, it is down, and those set screws are tightened down to the proper level, because I may have cut a corner on it a little bit. They weren't done as well as they should have done, and I did run into some issues, but that was on my error, not on theirs. So if you do the installation correctly, you'll have no issues. I will be giving you guys a full review on this trigger shortly, but there is the installation and overlook of the Elftmann tactical triggers. Definitely awesome, very cool. I love the ball bearing aspect. I love how they're modular and how you can change parts out. If you need to, you can always replace parts. That's one of the really nice things about these triggers. Again, I'll have a full review coming out soon, but real quick here before we end it, let's take a look at that break and reset. Just no over travel there. Just a fantastic little trigger there. There you guys go. Full review coming out soon. Take care. Elftmann match trigger.